Hello, I'm Sage, and this is one of my Google Sheets that I've made for a church I used to go to. It is a database containing all of the different songs that they've either mentioned or played while they were there. When I was in the band there, I wanted to make sure that I could keep track of all the different songs. So I made this spreadsheet in order for it to be easier for me to keep track of not only the songs that were playing, the version of the song, and then also when we had to have them ready. So this is the main list, the song list, and here I have two bars. This one is the input bar, and then this one is the search bar. You can use this one in order to filter or to show all the ones that actually exist, and when you do look for it, it'll filter it out on the list to show you who made it. It'll give you the link so that you can immediately access it, or the short version of the link, and then whether or not you want to practice it and when it was entered. If you decide to put something in here that doesn't exist, it won't pass the data validation rule that I put on it. The lower one is to add a song, like I said before, but more on that later. After that, you can schedule when you should have the song ready. But first, you can also look to see if the song was already scheduled. Here, it works about the same way as it does on song list, so I'm not going to show that. But what I can show is this one and this one. These two work a little differently, mainly because of the way the church worked. We usually do our rehearsals on Saturday, so these will show you everything a day after that. So it's been a while, so I'm going to go back to about 2024. Let's see, a little bit earlier in that year. Actually, this will work. And I'm going to choose January 6th as one of the Saturdays. Then, from there, it'll filter down the list to just the ones that happened from January 6th on, since this is the oldest due date. Now, let's say we want to pick up a particular date. Then, we come here, and I'm going to do 13th here. And then this will show you the ones that happens after that particular perform date, and they're on. Now, the set list view shows you the ones that happen from today on, since those are going to be your most readily necessary to know different songs that you have to do. I haven't been there for a while, so there's nothing to show. Finally, there is the practice list, which shows you all the different songs that you should be practicing or that you've marked as practice. Back here at the song list, if you notice, this column shows you different songs different songs that I've marked as practiced or stuff that I need to practice. So let's say I wanted to pick one of these songs like 99.5. I'll come to the practice list and it shows up here, already sorted. It'll also show you the perform date if you have it set inside of the set list. You can sort it either by artist or by key if you really want to, but usually it defaults to title. And then if you don't want to have it as a practice, you remove it, and then from back there, it's gone now. So let's see if we can try to add one real quick. So this is my lookup table. This is the table I used for when the choir director or somebody else gave you a whole bunch of songs at one time. You can just plot the songs here, and then it'll have a lookup table that'll show you whether or not it's inside of the database already. As you can see, the first one is in there. The fourth one is in there, but the other two are not. I've already picked out a particular song that I'm going to do. It's Melodies from Heaven, written by Kirk Franklin. As you can see, this little thingy shows up. Thank you, Google. And from there, it'll show that it's not inside the database yet. So I can come into the song list and check, or put it in there. If, however, you skip that and you decide to come here and you feel that it's not, you'll see that it hits a data validation rule violation, and so it won't take the input. So what we do is I can put it in here, and what I like to do is I like to rename cells with YouTube links or hyperlinks, otherwise it will change the formatting. And so I put the link in here, put the name here, and the name of the song here, and then I click add. Now, I could have a button, but the problem is buttons only works on PCs. I'm not sure if they work on tablets, but they don't work on phones. It's just I needed this to work while I was on the field, per se. Checkboxes worked a lot better. So that fires off an event, and what this will do is it will add a new row below the first one, put the data in, and then sort it by reapplying the filters. And so now, if I decide to look for it, it will refilter the list to show you that particular song. And there you go, it's in here. I'm going to go ahead and mark it for practice for later review. And as you can see back here, that link now shows up as existing inside of the database. And I forgot to do one thing. I want to put in the enter date. So today is March 18th. I could have put it up there, but kind of forgot about it. All right, so now we're going to add it here. Let me first show you how you can actually look for these type of things. Well, actually, no, let's put it in first. So, Melodies from Heaven. You don't have to worry about the link, and we're going to have the youth choir do it. I mentioned it today, but it's going to be due on this Saturday, and we're going to perform it on that Sunday. So I'll put it on that Sunday. All right, and then I add the link, or I add the song. And what it'll do is it'll do the same thing, put it underneath the first row, and then pop it up to the top. Now the reason why I'm not popping it right on the first row, name ranges in Google Sheets have a tendency to be rather immutable unless you put something inside of its range. If you put it either above or below, it has a tendency to not add it to the range, so then it won't look for it. It's really weird. So what I did was I added a second, put it as a second row, and make sure there's at least 2 rows of work inside the database so that it doesn't do anything wonky. And so now it's here. And if you ever want to look for it, let's say we want to look for it via the link, we pop the link in here, and then it'll show the title here, and then filter out the list. All right, now we have that in there. So now set list view is going to be populated with the song, a link to the video, the key if I added one, and then the song type, which is a choir, youth choir song, and then when it's supposed to be ready by. And since we marked it for practice, it is right here. Now, if you ever wanted to delete something, unfortunately what you'd have to do is delete the actual row. Whoops, a little bit more. And then you come over to the set list, and then you can remove it from here as well. There we go. And then everything is gone. Back to where it was. Hope you enjoyed my presentation, and if you want something similar to this, let me know on Upwork. Thank you very much. Bye.